We have proven that here in California that we, the people, not the politicians, are still the boss. We have a new revolution against the arrogant politicians and insensitive bureaucrats whose philosophy of tax, spend, elect and elect and elect is bankrupting we, the American people, and the time has come to put a stop.
In the early 70s, property values were skyrocketing, and so were property taxes, which on average were doubling about every 4 years. In some areas where property values spiked, reassessments were causing property taxes to double or even triple from one year to the next. People were literally losing their homes because they couldn't pay the growing tax bill. In 1977, California's state government was sitting on a $5 billion budget surplus, but refused to pass a property tax relief bill.
I remember my parents in 1977 and 78 afraid that they would lose their home in Glendale due to the incredible increases in property tax that they had never budgeted for. An incredible time of fear among the taxpayers when the state had billions in reserves. It made no sense.
Howard Jarvis, a retired California businessman, had been trying to work with California legislators. Then he shifted his focus and began going straight to the voters through an initiative known as Proposition 13. It was America's first major tax revolution since tea was tipped in Boston Harbor.
In 1978, the voters approved Proposition 13, which set property tax rates initially at 1% of the market value and then capped it at any annual increase at 2%. And what this did is it got rid of that arbitrary county assessor telling people what their property was worth and setting a new property tax rate. Now every homeowner is protected under Proposition 13. Whether you purchased your house yesterday or in 1978, we all have the protections of Proposition 13.
The Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association understood policy as well as politics. While the tone-setting image of Grandma getting kicked out of her home due to ballooning property taxes motivated voters to approve Prop 13 by a 2-to-1 margin, Prop 13 wasn't just about limiting the annual increase of property taxes.
Not only did it give millions of homeowners certainty for the last 40 years in their budgeting, but it also protected taxpayers for the last 40 years from all sorts of other taxes because it forced a 2/3 vote of the legislature to raise taxes and a 2/3 vote of local governance to raise taxes and putting things out to the voters themselves at local government.
This did not sit well with many government bureaucrats, many of whom doubled down in their rhetoric and fear-mongering, as noted here by LAUSD Teachers Union leader Hank Springer.
I think it's as serious a thing as ever in the history of this country. I think that we're seeing the absolute collapse of a school system in Los Angeles. And unless we get the money back, we're not going to have a school system.
It doesn't seem like there's ever enough funding for Sacramento in the programs that they want to put into place. And having Proposition 13, having that cap on that annually, it's stymieing them a lot in California. And again, every year we see them try to get around that. And it's a fight we're going to be doing till the end of time here in California. There is a determination to get rid of or to weaken Proposition to a point where they're going to be able to tax our properties at whatever value that they want.
Although Howard Jarvis passed away in 1986, the association that bears his name continues their important work to this day. The Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association continues to stand up for the taxpayers against the constant pressure from government to try to subvert the intention of Proposition 13, a landmark policy that has saved California taxpayers more than $500 billion over the past 4 decades. That's a tax savings of about $60,000 per family in California.
We already have some of the highest taxes in the nation, such as sales and personal income, but thankfully not on property. This is because Prop 13 has helped keep property taxes in check. Taxpayer advocacy groups like the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association and the Orange County Taxpayers Association are still so important because there are yearly attempts to water down Proposition 13. They are on the front lines to defend California's taxpayers from politicians who believe you aren't taxed enough. I'm proud to stand with both associations in defending Prop 13.
We, the taxpayers, have spoken. We have made clear our goals. Now we are watching you.
For all of their efforts and their continuing advocacy, The Orange County Taxpayers Association is proud to present the 2017 Royalty Award to the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association.